definitely want to get you to talk about what you have going on now. So after you went through college, you're on the cover and everything like that, just reading the bio a little bit, you started doing business, went to school, finished up your college and stuff. Why don't you go ahead and talk to people about that for a little bit?
Yeah, so I took a little detour and I made independent films for a while, for like 5 years, which was super fun. Taught me a lot about building a business and a lot about how to not build a business and what to do and what not to do. And that was super cool. But it was kind of a detour in some ways. And I kind of came back to this like health and fitness and sports, athletics kind of realm out of necessity for myself, because I was dealing with so much chronic physical pain, like my neck, my back, my knees. I played through pain my entire career, which, the culture still to this day, a little bit, but not as much, but definitely back then was like, pain is weakness, right? Like push through it. Right. And that was definitely how I approached things. And I had a lot of pain, afterward, that just kind of never went away. And in some ways it started to get worse and worse, as the years went on. And along with that, like I had a sense that something was wrong with my brain. And it got to a point where my mental health, was getting so bad, and my physical health and pain was getting so bad that I really hit like a rock bottom point. And I made a decision to change my life. It was either that or like die, literally. And so I made that change. I kind of came back to health, and I became a personal trainer. Just trying to figure something out and make some money while I was finishing up this film thing. And I started to really enjoy working with people that were having pain. And I still hadn't figured out my own stuff yet. But I remember specifically working with a guy with Parkinson's, and I really helped him in some small way to start to deal with that disease that he had just been diagnosed with. Even got him not off of completely, but cut his dosage of his medication in half after a few months of working together. And I was like, wow, like I can really make an impact in this guy's life. That's pretty cool. Let's go down this path a little bit further. And still trying to heal my own pain. And so I went back, got a master's degree in kinesiology. I worked in physical therapy for many years. I tried all the things I could to fix my own pain, and was also working on kind of the mental health part of it and trying to figure out what the heck was going on with my brain specifically, like, separate from the mindset and the mental health stuff. Like I felt like my brain was not working well, like the physical part, like structure of my brain. And then I saw Concussion with Will Smith. And so I was completely, I knew that I had CTE at that point. I was like, I'm sold. I got CTE. I'm screwed. Like, okay, now I got to figure out how to cure CTE for myself. Well, my opinion on all that has changed considerably in the years after that. And there's a pretty cool documentary a buddy of mine made. I forget the NFL player's name, but he kind of flipped the script a little bit on CTE, on whether it's like as prevalent as they think it is. And long story short, there's like ways to really help yourself. And so I got that in my head, and I'm like, okay, I can figure this out somehow. So anyway, pretty soon after that, I stumbled upon the work of a guy named Steven Kotler, and then his kind of mentor, Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, around flow states. And I realized that is what I had lost access to after competitive sports was over. And if anybody doesn't know what flow states are, it's like those states of peak performance when you feel and perform your best. When you're so absorbed in the task at hand, be it a sport or a video game or a conversation with somebody, that everything goes away. Time disappears.
It's like the endorphins are going or something like that.
Massively like heightened. It's like the best drug on earth that your brain makes for you, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like it's been called a billion different things, like being in the zone, in the pocket, runner's high, clutch, like all of these things describe
now
exactly locked in, all of it. They all describe the flow state. And so when I understood that that's what I had missed, I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. So then I kind of like dedicated my life to finding that anywhere and everywhere that I could, which really served me well in a lot of ways. And that's what I coach people on now. And then the second thing that really changed the game for me and for the chronic physical pain and also my brain health was the field of applied neurology or applied neuroscience, which is really just taking everything that we know about the brain, how it works to make movement happen, your breathing, how the visual system works, how the inner ear and the vestibular system, how they work to kind of inform your brain about where you're at in space, how to leverage those systems to essentially give the brain the right information to make it feel quote unquote safe and predictable in the environment, to unlock or remove the brakes for pain and performance, right? There's a saying in neuro that no brain, no pain, because pain doesn't live in your tissues. You don't have pain in your joints. You have pain in your brain, in the brain's representation of those places up here, right? So I'm not saying it's all in your mind, although it kind of is.
Yeah,
But
it sends it there, but
exactly.
Yeah,
and so
it's literally, but not figuratively at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. So when you can kind of grapple with that and understand that concept, then it opens the door to help people with pain. And for me, within 3 weeks of starting this applied neurology journey, learning about it, practicing it on myself, all my chronic pain went away, like in an instant.
Wow.
And of course, like it comes back here and there, right? But I know what to deal with it, how to deal with it. And this idea that, pain comes from your brain, it's an output from your brain always. Then you can use anything to affect that pain. Like I can get rid of my neck pain by, moving my wrist in the right direction or the right way. I can do it by, proper breathing mechanics and breathing drills. I can do it with visual drills. Anything that is meant to give the brain the right information that it needs in that moment, whether it be from your eyes, your inner ear, body movement, breathing, then it will say, okay, I don't need to give you pain anymore. Now I feel better in my environment. It's more predictable. I feel safer, quote unquote. We'll let the pain go. And it works the other way too. I will remove the brakes to unlock levels of performance that you've never been able to do. Right? So that's how I can improve somebody's strength, speed, vertical jump, or cognitive ability in an instant with one neuro input. So,
is that like the same concept of like how some like martial artists and stuff like that, they'll like purposely almost like, lack of better words, like damage the or a lot of MMA guys or something, like they'll like almost damage the shin, if you will, because they're going to kick there so much so that it doesn't send a signal that it hurts you. Or is that the same kind of concept?
Similar. I mean, there's neurology underneath that, right? And we could explain that from the lens of neurology. And that's kind of the important thing, is like anything and everything that we do, when we start peeling back the layers, you always run into the nervous system and the brain. Everything that you've ever thought, done, or ever will become is because of brain activity. So if we know that, then if we can actually go to the root cause and assess the brain and work with it directly, then we're going to get better results faster with anything that we do. And so that idea of the shin and hitting that thing over and over and over again, yes, there are some mechanical and physical things that are happening to build up kind of like that callus on there, which will then essentially kind of change the sensation that the nervous system is getting and make it feel almost kind of like numb. There's a physical part of that, a structural part of that, but still underneath, you're training the motor neurons and the nervous system with repeated exposure to kind of get used to that, right? So it's both, and it's both those things always at the same time. Like it's all the systems always. But with neurotraining, if we get down to the root cause and work from that level, then it informs everything we do at a deeper level. So we can understand everything that we're doing at a deeper level and also leverage how the nervous system works so we can work with all the things integrated, right? So we're not isolated, and we just get better and faster results when we do that.
For anybody, athletes or anybody that's out there, how do they get a hold of you, your website, or any of that kind of stuff to be able to learn more about what you're talking about? Because it's very interesting stuff you got going on.
It's fascinating. That's why I love it so much. It's like a never-ending quest, right, for mastery when you start working with the brain and stuff.
Too.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm on Instagram at I am Brandon Day, one word. That's where I kind of share some content around it, quick wins, things like that. And then my website, evolvedathlete.coach. I got programs on there where you can learn more. You can work with me one-on-one or in groups. And I do a lot of stuff on School. If you guys are familiar with that platform, SKOOL. It's a cool like group training platform. Hermosi's been like big into it. And so anyway, those are my three. School.com/evolved is my community over there, but they're all kind of tied together. So if you go to one, you'll find the others too. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Definitely got to check it out because man,
man.
Learned like at least like 4 new things in the last 10 minutes.
Nice.
Crazy.
Yeah.